Hello and welcome to GameSack. We've got some super scary games for you this time.
That's right. Every now and again, you like to play a game that, just frightens you in general. And, well, here's some games that might do that. I got a little frightened. I'll admit that. But how about you? You don't get frightened, do you, Joe?
Well, let's find out and see if I do. This is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard on the PlayStation 4. And yes, in Japan it's known as Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. We have truly come full circle. Of course, it's also available on the Xbox One and PC. And weirdly, it's also available for the Switch, at least in Japan, but only as a streamable title. Yeah, just play it on one of the big boy platforms. A lot of people have touted that this game is a return to form for the series. That meaning it's more about survival horror instead of just an action game with a few scary things here and there. The gameplay and the controls aren't entirely similar to the original games, but that's okay. This time the game takes place using a first-person perspective. You play as Ethan and you're looking for your wife Mia, who's been missing for 3 years. She sends you an email asking you to come to a house in Louisiana to get her. And you know what? It's probably not a good idea. Actually, it's definitely not a good idea. But if you don't go, then we won't have a game, will we? You can't get in through the main gate, of course. You find a long abandoned vehicle to what appears to be a TV crew or something outside of the property. Eventually, you find another way into the house. But let me tell you right now, it's not gonna be so easy to get back out. Inside, you'll discover that the house is absolutely trash and needs a great deal of maintenance. Seriously, someone call a handyman. And a maid. Blech. I had a mini fridge like this once where some sodas had burst and I didn't catch it for a couple of months. It was not a fun time. This house is way bigger than it looks from the outside. And the atmosphere in here is fantastic. And I don't mean that in a sarcastic way, I just really like the super creepy vibes in here. Like previous games, you can examine lots of items in your environment and some of them will even be clues. Actually, pretty much everything you find laying around will be relevant to your situation in one way or another. I just like examining everything I can. There will also be minor puzzles to solve here and there during your little adventure.
Who builds this shit?
You'll find super VHS videotapes randomly lying around that you can watch at a bunch of different super VHS VCRs throughout the house. Wow, these people can't even maintain their house, but somehow they have super VHS machines lying around everywhere. This will fill you in on some of the history that's happened within this house, like the TV crew whose van we saw outside. What's really cool is that you actually get to play these segments. Man, and I thought Captain Power videotapes were interactive. Anyone remember Captain Power?
Captain Power jet and figure sold separately, batteries not included.
Anyway, the TV crew's adventure reminds me a lot of Blair Witch, and a large portion of this was in the demo for this game. Eventually you do find Mia and you try to escape, but she is not right. Oh no, not right at all. She belongs to Daddy now. And Daddy and his cannibal crew are such a backwoods bunch, and it's weird that they have this super magical healing potion and stuff like that everywhere, but whatever. This time around you save your game at tape recorders, which are more advanced than the typewriters of the original game. That's how much more powerful the PS4 is than the PS1. You also have a grid-based inventory with storage chests just like the old games, and these can be expanded. The gameplay is tight. I never had an issue with the controls except for maybe the aiming, but I think that's just me. There are some jump scares here, but thankfully they're not too annoying. It relies more on the super creepy people that are inside the house, and holy crap, they are very creepy. But it's not just them. They've even got weird monsters wandering around in the house's many, many basements. Seriously, I'd like to know how big of a foundation they dug when they built this house. Both the visuals and the audio are top notch, and as you can see, they go a really long way towards the uneasy feeling you'll get while playing this one. However, sometimes the music will cut off for a second or two when it's clearly not supposed to.
I can't let her catch me again.
You can also play this one in VR, but personally I found it more comfortable playing it normally. It's not more scary in VR, it's just more cumbersome, at least it was for me. This one will give you a good adventure and make you feel trapped and helpless since it's nearly impossible to kill Daddy and his ilk without first finding the serum. And the adventure goes further than just the family here and gets kind of weird. But I wholeheartedly recommend it. Absolutely get it if you don't have it already.
Ethan, it's okay. It's okay, it's me. I know you didn't mean to hurt me.
You shouldn't have done that! It fucking hurts! Ah!
Here's Fatal Frame, based on a true story from Tecmo for the PS2. You can also get it on your Xbox if you want. Yes, this is the actual title of the game, which I've always found to be strange. I guess the true story part is supposed to make it even more scary or something like that. The game's setting is an isolated Japanese mansion owned by the Himuro family. Nobody has lived here for many years, and it's the site of some weird ritual where dead people are found missing their arms, legs, and head. You start the game off as a young journalist dude who's searching for his mentor who's gone missing. And it doesn't take but a little while for this guy to end up missing also. 2 weeks have passed and you now take control of his little sister who's come to search for him. You find his camera right away, which you wouldn't think is a big deal, but this is no ordinary camera. If someone with considerable spiritual power uses this camera, it has the ability to capture images that can't be seen by ordinary people. In short, this is your weapon against all the ghosts that are roaming around the mansion. As you're making your way, the filament on the camera will turn orange if a ghost is nearby. Some ghosts are harmless and taking pictures of them won't do anything, but others will attack you and taking pictures of these ghosts will damage them until they're set free. To get the maximum damage, you have to keep the ghost in the capture circle. The circle will turn blue when the ghost is in focus and the spirit charge meter on the bottom of the screen will start to fill in the characters. The more characters you have filled in, the more damage you will deal when taking the photo. You can also find different types of film that will also deal more damage to a ghost. The camera can also be upgraded by spending the points you receive after eliminating ghosts from the mansion. It's definitely a unique battle system that's actually fun to use. It's not always easy though, and you'll take damage when a ghost gets a hold of you. Tougher ghosts will have you running back and forth across the room to get away from them and try to get more pictures. The game is fairly slow-paced and you'll be traversing the mansion from time to time figuring out clues. The filament in the camera will turn blue if a clue is close by. The thing that I don't like is you have to take a picture of a clue which wastes film. As you're poking around the mansion, you'll find more film, but still I hate to waste it. Not only will you find film, but you'll also find all sorts of information from journals, newspaper clippings, and even audio cassettes. Remember those? All this stuff really helps fill in the storyline, along with the random cutscenes here and there. To help make the mansion feel more creepy, there's lots of ambient sounds. Honestly, it's just kind of annoying as it just constantly goes and never feels like it's gonna stop. It would be creepier if it were used more sparingly. At least there's lots of different types of ambient sounds, so your ears aren't bleeding from just one. Another annoying thing is that the game is super dark. It's to the point that you'll run into walls because you can't see anything. We've brightened it up a bit in editing so you can see what's going on. There's an option in the options menu for brightness, but it just tells you to adjust the brightness on your TV. I really hate that as it should be done in-game. Other than those minor complaints, the game is really enjoyable. The atmosphere is definitely creepy, and seeing ghosts and reading all the clippings about the rituals that happened here make for a nice, scary experience. I only have the first game, but now I need to look for the others in the series.
Follow GameSack on Twitter at GameSack and at GameSackDave, on Instagram at GameSackOfficial, and check out our Patreon if you want. Wow, Fatal Frame, one of the most scariest games ever made in the history of forever. Dave, on a scale of 1 to 10, how scared were you?
I'm going to say, honestly, about a 7. That game freaked me out, and I don't want a camera. I mean, this camera you're using right here, can it detect ghosts? God, I hope not.
It might. Let's get back into it. Here's Swagman on the PlayStation from Core and Eidos, and it's pure garbage. It's also on the Saturn in Europe, but nobody gives a fuck. I went into this one not really knowing much about it other than what's written on the back of the case. I felt it would be appropriate for this episode, being that it deals with running around a nightmare land with your twin sister. This Swagman has stolen all of the good dreams by imprisoning this titty monster here, as of course, she's the one who provides the good dreams.
Did you just say tits?
Yes, I did. Shut up, me. And the first thing you need to do in this crap fest is to free your sister from a cage. Once you do, you'll be able to control both kids, but there's plenty to do before that. Your house is full of nightmarish creatures to kill, and it's literally falling apart and getting sucked into hell. Your life bar is full of Z's. You know, like Z's for sleeping, I guess. Or Z if you're not American, but the very large majority of our audience is American, so I'm just gonna say Z. If you want us to say Z, you're just gonna have to get more people in your country to watch GameSack. And then, I promise, we'll say Z exclusively. Anyway, the more Z's you have, the more hits you can take. As you run out, you can collect more Z's by breaking certain jars or collecting them from people or animals who are sleeping, like this cat. You run around your gigantic house collecting keys to open new doors, you collect lots of bugs to use later, you've got lots of cool items you can use. This game should be really good, but instead, it isn't. The execution is just horrible. Firstly, the 3/4 overhead perspective will screw you up. It's very difficult to tell what you can walk on or through, and a lot of places that you can walk are hidden by the walls that you can walk behind. Somehow, this works fine for games like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, but they found a way to make it suck the life out of the gameplay here. The game is tough and it's easy to die, but there are unlimited continues. When you restart, it puts you right where you entered the scene with the exact same conditions you entered. So that means if you entered the scene with only 1 Z on your life bar, you've got to go through that entire scene without getting hit. And in this scene, I kept getting hit and having to try again and again. But what really chaps my ass is that the game feels that it's necessary to load a game over/continue screen and then reload the entire screen all over again. Why? The scene is already in memory. There's absolutely no need to reload it. The game uses Redbook audio for its music, so it literally can't load any more data while it's playing music, which means there is no need to reload the stage since, like I said, it's already in memory. It's like the developers wanted to punish you even more for dying. Oh yeah, you died? Well, here you go. Have some wear and tear on your PlayStation CD drive. So each time you die, your PlayStation also dies a little bit. Okay, I made it here. I should throw this switch in. What the hell? I did not expect to be warped away. It should at least offer me a choice if I want to go or not. Now I'm in limbo, and if I step on the wrong block, I die immediately. Yeah, this is fun. Oh, but this is cool. It turns out that all the bugs I've been collecting can show me the proper path to get over without dying. Nice. Now I'll be able to make it to the damn it all to hell! I accidentally touched the warp again! Now all of my bugs are gone and I am screwed. I mean, it took me 45 minutes to collect that many bugs. I guess maybe I could go back and collect more, but yeah, I just don't want to. The scariest thing about this game is how awful it is. It's too bad too, because the music is pretty good and the game holds a lot of promise. They just really dropped the ball hard. F this game.
This is Until Dawn on the PS4 by Supermassive Games. This super scary game takes place in a very large cabin and its surrounding areas in the middle of winter. The prologue has you get used to the controls as you help a girl find her twin sister who has been pranked by her friends and ran away into the freezing cold. These girls aren't alone out there and they ultimately meet their doom. A year after their disappearance, the brother gets everyone back together to reunite, have a good time, and try and put the past behind them. It's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure book. You take control of each character for a short period of time and you're always given choices on what to do next. Some of these choices you make are called the butterfly effect. Depending on what answer you choose, it will change the story and later events that happen. The obviously cool thing here is that you have to play the story multiple times to see the whole game. So not only are there events to choose the path of the game, but there's also plenty of quicktime events that you'll need to conquer. For the most part, these are easy, and I only screwed them up a few times. Luckily, you start over where the quicktime event starts. In the beginning of each chapter, the game gives you a small video to catch you up on the storyline. I guess they do this in case it's been a few days since you've played it. At the end of each chapter, you're sitting in a shrink's office where he asks you a bunch of questions and, he makes you feel kinda small. I like how his office gets more creepy every time you see the guy. The presentation of the game is great. It's very reminiscent of a horror film that you actually control. There's many points with jump scares that try to get you unhinged early on. These didn't scare me much, and I just laughed at them wondering when the real fun was going to start. And after a few hours, the fun begins to happen. People start getting taken and you're wondering what the hell's going to happen next. People that you thought were bad might actually turn out to be good, like Josh here. In the beginning, I thought he had a hand in all the creepiness that was going on. It didn't take long for him to lose his life. Admittedly, I chose the girl over him, but I wonder what would have happened if I had chosen to save his life instead of the girl's. I guess I'll have to find out the next playthrough. The game's overall setting is definitely creepy. For some reason, the electricity isn't on and everything is dark and lit by candlelight at best. The grounds around the cabin are creepy as hell, especially the mine. Who has a mine on their cabin's property? Who? I like it though, and it adds a lot of scary atmosphere to the game. You'll also find these little pieces of totem laying around. They show you a very short snippet of an event that may or may not happen depending on the choices you make. It's a really good idea and I find myself looking for these events. You know, I'm really enjoying this game a lot more than I thought I would. I bought it because it was only $19 new and figured that one day I'd get around to playing it. There's no better episode than a Scary Games episode to cover it, right? I'm glad I have it and I look forward to making different choices on different playthroughs.
What if it's like a pipe that's about to burst or some problem with the furnace?
Unlikely.
If it were me, I wouldn't want this place to burn down on my watch.
Yeah, right.
Whoa! What the hell?
Well, Dave, at least Until Dawn looks like a hell of a better game than Swagman.
Yeah, I would say it's like a bazillion times better. Swagman has no swag, that's for sure. Until Dawn was cool. It's had some freaky stuff in there. So a lot of jump
Lots
scares.
of swag.
A lot of swag.
Let's finish this up. Deadspace from Electronic Arts was released for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC back in 2008. I'm playing on the PS3 here. In this third-person sci-fi horror shooter, you play as a dude who's part of a crew sent into a system mining vessel. When you get there, nobody responds and suddenly you crash into it for whatever reason. On board, you find lots of people dead and strange creatures attacking you from every angle. Cut off from the surviving members of your crew, you must make your way through the huge ship to restore certain systems and get things moving again. And hopefully, you can find a way to get out of there and back home. This one takes a lot of influence from the first Alien movie with a big warehouse-like feel and even the water dripping all over the place. You'll also hear lots of creepy voices of people talking or whispering, but you can't see where it's coming from. When you fight creatures, you're encouraged to shoot the limbs off as this kills them much faster and uses less ammo. And you don't have unlimited ammo. Usually games like this encourage headshots, but not here. Kinda refreshing actually. And these things are all over the place. Gee, I wonder why. Look, this one even dropped a human-looking head. There are lots of jump scare attempts here, but it never really worked on me for some reason. And that's fine by me, because honestly, I think jump scares are pretty cheap. They are very low effort scares. You always know when an enemy is around because the music gets really loud and crazy, and of course it goes away when all the enemies near you are finished. You also have some other abilities like stasis to freeze or slow down fast-moving objects, or kinesis to move objects around on a whim. I almost thought I was playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Super Gory Space Edition. This game rips off a lot from Breath of the Wild, even though it came out way sooner. And as with any derelict mining ship floating adrift in space, there are weapon stores all over the place where you can buy new stuff. There are also upgrade centers where you can increase the power of your weapons, abilities, and your suit. Speaking of your suit, I like that your life bar is actually the light on your spinal column. Who designed that? Now everyone knows my health status as I walk around. Did the designers of this suit ever hear of health information privacy? How am I supposed to pick up chicks if they can see that I'm low on health? Plus, the enemies will all know who to attack first. The controls all work very well, and the game is pretty damn fun. It'll provide you with lots of exciting and bloody adventures. The graphics are well done for their time and go a long way to help giving you a very isolated feeling. The sound design is also done well, however the sound presentation itself is poor. For example, you can barely hear people talking to you when you're facing them directly. You have to turn to the side a bit to hear them.
Look, if we all cooperate, we can figure this out. Let's get that computer display up, Isaac.
I haven't tried playing this game in surround sound yet, but I'm guessing that it's better there. It feels like I'm only getting the left and right channels of a full 7.1 setup when I'm playing stereo instead of a proper stereo down mix. And yes, the console is set to stereo, thanks. Still, if you like your science fiction to be creepy, this is a great game to play.
Collision detected in the main hangar bay. Emergency crews have been notified.
Haunted Halloween 85 is a homebrew title by Retrotainment released in 2016. This game is available on Steam if you want it, but screw that because it's also available on the NES here. A full physical copy was released with box, instruction manual, and an awesome see-through corpse green cartridge. In this one, you take control of a kid who slept in one school day, and when he woke up he thought he was going to get in trouble and miss the Halloween dance. Luckily for him, sleeping in was the best thing that could have happened as the whole town was turned into zombies. Not only that, but there's plenty of other creepy monsters and ghosts around too. Now you have to fight your way through many levels using only your fists. It's a straightforward beat 'em up that's pretty simple to get into and has plenty of challenge in later levels. The challenge comes when the game starts throwing tons of enemies at you almost all the time. You'll have to do lots of platforming while you're trying to send these bastards back to hell. Luckily the kid controls really well and only a few times did I ever miss a jump. I really like how instead of the kid having a life bar, he slowly deteriorates when taking damage. He'll start to turn pale and then finally turns into a zombie and then, he's dead. But being a good Halloween game, you can always replenish your life with the random candy corn that's hanging around or when an enemy drops them. Like I said, the platforming is pretty crazy, which shows off the good level design. The locales you'll visit can be pretty darn creepy themselves, like this cornfield here. There's also little nods to 80s culture here and there, like the movie theaters showing flicks like The Goonies, which was one of my favorites back in the day. The game is a tad expensive, coming in at $60 for a complete copy. There's a second game called Haunted Halloween 86 that I'd love to try. This is Slain by Merge Games. It's available as a digital download on PC, all the current consoles, and the Vita. It got a physical release in Europe on the PS4, so naturally I bought that one. A little later on it got a physical release on the Switch too. Anyway, you play as Bathrin, who's been awakened from the dead to liberate 6 realms from 6 overlords. The first thing that I noticed when I started playing were the amazing graphics. This game is beautiful. All the artwork, the animation, the blood and guts, and just gore and creepy scenery everywhere are really cool to behold. The color schemes are really awesome. I like all the reds, purples, and greens that just look venomous and poisonous. The second thing I noticed was the heavy soundtrack. No lyrics, but just straight up heavy metal, and it kicks much ass. I can't describe how perfect the music feels with the whole game, but it does, and if you've played it, you know what I mean. The third thing I noticed was the brutal difficulty. You'll be slain many times as you play this game, but you have unlimited lives, which makes perfect sense. There's a lot of trial and error going on here. The levels have pitfalls that you need to learn to look out for, and the enemies have patterns to learn as well. I'll tell you right now that you need to learn to block an enemy's attack at the perfect time. If you do, you'll counterattack for massive damage. I like that you can return projectiles from enemies that shoot at you. You also have a mana spirit projectile that comes in handy. And if you have time between enemy attacks and a full mana bar, you can do a devastating attack that will do lots of damage and completely drain your mana bar. There's no doubt about it that this is a very difficult game. The thing is, my frustration always stayed low while my yearning to learn and kick lots of ass was high. That's a good game right there if it makes you want to keep playing and trying to do better. And this is definitely a good game. If you're up for a challenge, then play this game now. It's slightly creepy, very bloody, and a whole lot of fun.
All right, there you go. The scariest games ever known to mankind. And I've got to admit, Dave, I got slain as well, and it slayed me. It kicked my ass.
Dude, that game is ridiculously hard, but it's fun. But once you start learning how to play it, it becomes more manageable. And I'll tell you right now, I'm never going into space. I don't ever want to see any scary monsters up there and be trapped in a space station or anything like that, so count me out.
Totally would go into space. It'd be worth it.
Heck no.
Anyway, what are some scary games you guys recommend? Let us know. In the meantime, thank you for watching GameSack. Hello and welcome to GameSack. Big announcement, GameSack is now focused 100% on Sega-related products.
What? Are you crazy, Joe? You're gonna just eliminate 90% of our audience? You're gonna kill the show, dude! Ah!